Okay, we're live. Here we go. Testing, testing. Today on Quality Time with Family Ties, we learn Alex makes a deal with the Devil's Three-Way. And 3, 2, 1. Hey, everybody. What? This voice is very different. Yes, it's just me and Corey today. Welcome to Quality Time with Family Ties.
Boy, it's sort of lonely here without Scott, huh?
I know. It's kind of ironic about this episode about 3 people and a couple being awkward. Now we have the 2 of us and it's awkward.
That's it. That's all we got. We have us and awkwardness, which we're very good at.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I have nothing to say.
I can't really trash the episode, which, always flummoxes me when I can't say terrible things about it. It's like, it's okay. It's an okay episode.
Yeah, unless the episode is amazing. Otherwise, you're just like, well, it's fine. I can't get angry. I can't get happy. I'm just kind of content.
Yes, it was just fine. It was a pleasant way to spend my 20 minutes watching something.
Yeah. All right, so this episode is called Best Man. And it starts, well, Corey, because Scott's not here, let's just go back and forth of trying to, cover the ground of the plot, because, we leave Scott to all the drudgery of
that last night. I thought we leave him to do all the heavy lifting, and we just get to throw in whatever we want. And today we actually sort of have to stay on the straight and narrow and actually go through the plot of this thing.
I was looking at my notes and I was like, oh shit, I should have taken better notes.
And when I watched it last night, I think you watched it before we knew we were going to be without Scott today. I watched it afterwards, and I wrote the most notes I had ever written just in case I needed more markers for the plot of the story. I was just
Corey, in that case, do you want to start us off then? Because because mine are just one-word things.
Well, we start in the kitchen, where all good stories start on Family Ties, and he's playing poker. Alex P. Keaton is playing poker with his friends Doug, Lyle, Clancy, and the fat guy whose name I never got.
Wow. No, stop right there, everybody. I can tell that you're taking diligent notes because you got all of their names.
That's
I
what
feel
I wrote.
like you had to go to
I wrote the names down as they said them. Doug, Lyle, Clancy, and the fat guy. I just never got the fat guy. I don't know why. You know why I got him? Because he never became a star like Doug, Lyle, and Clancy did.
Well, okay, right out of the gates, I recognized Tate Donovan. But who are the other guys?
The other one, the one who was the stand-in best man, I think that was Clancy. Mm-hmm. That is Billy Campbell, who became the Rocketeer. Do you remember the Rocketeer? And then he did an ABC romantic drama called Once and Again or Now and Again, playing opposite Celia Ward. He became a romantic leading man, a very good-looking actor, very pleasant, works all the time, lots of TV, lots of film, more indie films than anything else, but a really successful career. Still now, obviously, in his maybe early 50s, around 50 years old, still a very good-looking, romantic leading man type of guy. So those were the two.
That was the interesting thing.
And what do you remember Tate Donovan most from? Is there anything in particular?
Love Potion number 9.
Susanna.
Wait, stop. Wait, you broke up there. Say it again.
I said Susanna said the same thing. Love Potion number 9. My memory of him is a bit more recent. He had a really nice role in Argo.
Oh, that's true. And also, he was the voice of Hercules in the Disney movie Hercules. That was a big thing that he did. Mm-hmm. But Love Potion number 9, I think, was Sandra Bullock's first film.
Really? Wow. I have a thing for Sandra Bullock. I think she's cute.
And once again, even whatever age she is, still looks gorgeous.
It looks great. Always very attractive.
Yeah. But yeah, Tate Donovan and Sandra Bullock are in Love Potion number 9, and they're these two nerdy scientists who invent a potion, obviously Love Potion number 9, to make anyone who drinks it fall in love with them. It's like, I feel like in the age of Bill Cosby, that film, in rewatching it, would be terrible.
With that in the rearview mirror, it would be a terrible movie to watch.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so Tate Donovan, and it's funny because all of Alex's friends are much more attractive than the last time he played with Poker Buddies. Remember in season 1, they were all like weirdos.
Yes. So they're all sitting there, they're playing cards, and it seems that Doug, we've met Doug one time before, and I always feel as though these sitcoms, they should have laid just a little bit more groundwork. We've seen Skippy way more times than we've seen Doug. And yet Doug comes in and is the Alex's long-lost soulmate of a best friend. He's the best friend he longs for. And I just, if we had had an episode where I felt as though, wow, they're really best friends, I would have felt much better about this. But it was just that one episode at Leland that we saw Doug earlier this season, right?
Right. It was where he was the classmate and Alex failed the paper and learned about political science and all that stuff. Yeah.
And Doug did well with the professor whose name you'll remember, but I can't.
Professor Motorboat.
That's it. Bronsky. That's it. You just say Motorboat, I'll know the last name is Bronsky.
But
so
yes.
They're playing cards and Doug can't stay. He's got to run. Why does he have to run? Well, we all know the answer to that, because he's finally got a girl, and he'd rather go out with a girl than stay with the boys and play poker.
Right. And doesn't Alex wants to watch Bridge on the River Kwai? Like he's after the game, they're going to watch a TV show? Ooh, there's that dwarven whistling skill that you've got there, Corey.
It is a dwarven whistle. They should have auditioned us.
Because yeah. No, what was funny was that I can't whistle. Like Michael J. Fox, he was doing it through his teeth or something. He was like, and I was like, two of us, we can't whistle for shit. So
that's why I thought that scene was very funny. It was like neither of them were a particularly good whistler, and yet they insisted that it be Bridge over the River Kwai, and you have to whistle the theme to that. I was also curious why they made the fashion choice of having Doug dress in mork pants that were up to his nipples.
Mm-hmm.
Was that a style at the time?
Was it just a nerd thing?
Mm-hmm. I think that's just what they were trying to show, is he's a nerd.
Yeah.
And then the lovely Eleanor Lee shows up at the house.
Wait,
to pick up
the funniest part, Corey, is that there's Doug and Alex are talking about how Doug has to leave. He can't watch the movie. Alex is a little bit upset. Then the doorbell rings. Remember, they're in the kitchen.
Right.
Doug
goes,
right. Doug goes to the swinging door and yells out, "I'll be right there, honey." And it's like, or what? How can he answer the door that's so far away?
And not in his own home either.
Right.
And I don't answer the door in someone else's house. I let someone from the house answer their own door.
Right.
But he goes out towards the kitchen. Is this when Dad walks in at the same time and makes some caustic remark to Doug about I love you too? Yeah. And,
I think so. And this is where she comes in?
Right. Eleanor Lee comes in, who's clearly they had no budget for costumes for Eleanor Lee, so they just went to the Mallory collection of Little House on the Prairie dresses.
Yes, I said Eleanor is in Mallory's new clothes.
Clearly, that's what they did. They just put a Mallory rack.
Yeah.
You know how
now here's the thing:
way more clothes than you're ever gonna need. They always pull 30 outfits, and you may need 3. Mm-hmm. So the rest of them stay on the rack just in case. So I felt like they went to the just-in-case Mallory rack. Here, Eleanor, something we picked out just for you.
Yeah, yeah. I can't even imagine having to wear that thing. It looks like the worst high school production of Our Town or something. It's just...
It is. Mm-hmm. And of course, instead of staying and watching Bridge Over the River Kwai with Alex, he's going to go out with Eleanor. Doug is going to go out with Eleanor and watch Bambi. Isn't that sweet?
Oh, that's very
and
sweet.
Alex feels rejected, clearly, which is sort of our foreshadowing of the next 20 minutes.
Now
Alex.
okay. I was debating whether to bring this up all morning. I was like, should we talk about this or not? And here's the thing. Family Ties and Gary David Goldberg, as we've seen throughout 3 seasons so far, has not the best track record with regard to race.
No, it doesn't.
The woman playing Eleanor is Asian. Am I to assume, and it was the first thing that popped into my head, if it happened today, like, I would say, oh, cool. They never bring up that she's Asian. It's this mixed race relationship between Doug, who's Timothy Busfield, who's as white as the day is long, and her. Are we to assume that Gary David Goldberg is doing shorthand of saying that she is like Yoko Ono to their friendship? I feel
exactly my
terrible.
mouth is saying because I think that's brilliant, actually. Given the time period that this was made, yeah. I don't know. I think there's something there.
I think it's the most because like if it were any other show, if it were, you know, if they had better track record, I wouldn't have even thought it. But this is 1984, 1985, and that sort of weird racist miscegenation stuff was going on then. Like, people didn't like mixed race relationships, and it just really, if that's the plot line of the thing, it made me feel very weird about it.
I would love to see an early script to see, was she written Eleanor Lee or was she written Eleanor Johnson and they just ended up with an Asian actress and that's what happened? In which case I would go, right. No, she probably isn't Yoko Ono. But if she was written an Asian character, then I don't know. I think that's I think that has a lot of insight into what happens because she sort of is Alex and Doug's Yoko. She's breaking up the band.
Right. But I don't think that's good, though. I don't think that to just do that, because they don't even bring it up or anything like that. No. I feel like it's just this, like, subtextual thing where it's, like, capitalizing on what people think of, you know?
I also agree with you that I thought it was sort of weird that they didn't address the fact that she was Asian in 1984.
Right. Now it wouldn't be a thing that you would even, like, who even gives a shit? But back then, I feel like it would have been a thing.
Because I don't think that there was an executive in Gary David Goldberg's ear going, diversity. Make sure your cast is diverse. I think that was something that showrunners felt on their own part. And it was as diverse as they wanted it to be, which isn't very diverse. But still, it's as diverse. They had total control. It's not as if the network was saying, I need to see 2 black faces and 2 Hispanic faces on this episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyway, it was just something that was, like, bothering me. And I was like, yeah, anyway.
So we go to scene 2 after they leave for their date at Bambi, and we're in the living room, and it's Doug. I wrote Doug Plus. Yes, Doug is coming over to watch True Grit with Alex, and Alex is very excited. And I think we all knew exactly what was coming around the corner when he opened the door for Doug. But it wasn't just Doug; it was Doug plus 1. It was Eleanor as well, over for an evening with their buddy Alex to watch True Grit. And I thought they comically played it pretty well. The third wheel issue here, where they had Alex sitting in between the 2 of them on the couch, and they were trying to hold each other's hand, their arm around each other. The episode had a lot of good physical stuff, and it was a different... was it a different writer? Yeah, it was a different writer. It was Alan Uger, who's been on staff on the show for a long time, but hasn't had a lot of credits for teleplays. And he went on to have a terrific career as a major writer on All in the Family, or before that he wrote All in the Family, not afterwards because this was before. But he was a big writer on All in the Family. He was a big Norman Lear kind of guy, which when we talk about race, again, I think that's sort of interesting that you have an All in the Family writer who's doing it.
Yeah. Now, with Alan Uger, were there any famous episodes of All in the Family that he did that would be something to like point at and be like, oh, he did this episode? Or
I don't know whether he did or not. Didn't see it.
I was just curious.
Yeah. So they're sitting
I
watching.
I have a note about Yentl. I have a note about Yentl. What happened with Yentl?
I don't know what happened with Yentl. Was there some Yentl moment here?
Yeah, there was something where like, no, his favorite movie is now Yentl, where it used to be True Grit.
Oh.
Is that the thing?
Oh, where Doug's opinions are starting to change based upon his relationship with Eleanor. So his favorite movie used to be True Grit because he and Alex could share that, and now his favorite movie is Yentl, a Barbra Streisand musical about Jews.
Right. Oh yeah, with the pogroms, right? And getting married when you don't want to, or she pretends. No, what is it? What's the plot?
A boy. She had a dress as a boy, and she was in love with Mandy Patinkin. And I don't think I've ever seen Yentl, but I've made fun of it for years, but I've never seen it.
Papa, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Papa, can
that's
you
exactly
see me? My mom.
My some knowledge. Yeah. So poor Alex is sitting. Alex in the Middle. That's the new sitcom. Alex in the Middle. Wow. I wrote down, I also have a cryptic note written down. I wrote dreams come true. Somebody must have said something about that. This is really terrific. Was it Doug who said dreams come true, or Alex?
I don't know. That's amazing.
We both
I have a note. I have a note that says True Grit is elevator music. Apparently, they couldn't get the rights to any army. Like, they couldn't have gunshots or anything. It was just...
it was elevator
like,
music.
It was the girl from Ipanema.
It would never be in True Grit. They got some public clearance music, and they just pumped it in. It was like Muzak that they had coming out of the TV. It was really funny. They've done that before where they get really cheap with the rights to something.
Yeah.
I was thinking that the other
though, Corey. Oh no, just that it might have been in the original broadcast. They had the actual stuff, but for the DVD and stuff like that, they might have not done that.
Because you can pay for it to be seen once, but you don't want to pay for the rights in perpetuity, where then you're having to fork over rights every time it airs or a big lump sum. It was like, right. I was watching, did you watch SNL this weekend with Ariana Grande?
No.
Who wasn't half bad,
I can't believe you did. Jesus, Corey. Come on. What? You're an old man.
I watch SNL, but, I watch it like Thursday afternoon. Not on Saturday night, trust me. But they did a scene.
Before the early bird special, you watch SNL.
To Norm's for the blue plate special. Meatloaf, mashed potatoes. I get my senior card out. It's $4.99 now. So at the end of SNL, and it was like almost like the 12:45 sketch, and it was a scene out of Sound of Music, and they had all of the female cast members singing "How Do You Solve a Problem Like Maria?" And I'm listening and I'm thinking, wow, I can't believe NBC sprung for the rights for a Rodgers and Hammerstein song to play it at 12:45 at night. It's like, if you could buy the rights, I figured, wow, you're going to have it the 11:40 sketch, not the 12:45 sketch, where people are at least going to see it.
Right.
But they paid for the whole rights because they used that whole song in there in their sketch about Ariana Grande was Maria. Basically, the crux of the sketch were when the nuns would sing "How Do You Solve a Problem Like Maria?" she would come in and bust them and go, "Why are you talking shit about me?" Basically, the nun is asking, "You keep on talking crap about me when I'm not around." I thought it was sort of funny, actually, because that song, it's a bunch of nuns gossiping about another nun.
That's awesome.
So it was somebody's concept. Anyway.
Wow.
But they paid for the rights, but God forbid that Family Tie should pay for the rights to True Grit. Next scene,
right,
we fade out. We're back in the kitchen again, and This scene I thought was actually funny. You know, it's funny. We get a smattering of Elise in this episode, but we don't get very much of her.
And she's so much smaller than she was in other episodes.
So clearly, she's given birth in real life and is trying to get back on her feet again, and they're trying to ease her back into the production schedule a little slower. So they really didn't tax her with any kind of plot or scenes in this one. She's just there like 2 or 3 times. So she's there at the beginning of the scene. I thought this was sort of cute, where I thought this was comically really good, where Steven wonders if there's something wrong with Alex because he just came up and gave me a hug. And Elise goes, well, what's so unusual about that? Alex loves you. He said, I was in the shower.
Yeah, that was a great joke.
Yes, I thought it was set up well. I thought it was performed well. It surprised me. It was like, oh. And then they have the topper to it, too, when Alex enters into the scene and hugs Steven again and comments about, hey, you smell good. Yep, remind us that he was in the shower. That's right. Yeah. But I thought it was sort of funny, and they had the chance to go through the exposition here where Alex is lonely, Alex needs a friend, and then we go through the family here in the scene because we know that, okay, he's got to find a friend somewhere. So, hey, you want to go exercise with Mom? No, he doesn't want to exercise. Mom wants to exercise without him. And Mallory, can want to go shopping with Mallory? No, Mallory went shopping yesterday and she spent all her money. Thank God orange juice makes an appearance in the middle of the scene.
Woo! I was waiting to bring that up.
Yes. Thank God. You know, every time the orange juice, and the more I look at the orange juice, and now I'm going to interpret the orange juice on this show. I don't think it's actual.
It's fun. It's fun to do.
I think somebody got like one of those big canisters of Tang. I don't think they're drinking real orange juice. I don't think oranges ever touched that juice. I think it's Tang, Sunny D, or something that's not real orange juice.
Slow down. All right, now we're getting into deep, dark territory here. Now we're getting into some conspiracy theories, and I want to hear this further. Why is that? Why do you think that is?
It doesn't look like orange juice to me. It looks like Tang. It looks like it's a mix. I don't see... And yeah, I understand it's not in high def. I'm not looking high def, but I don't see pulp on the picture. I want to see pulp on the picture if it's really orange.
How close are you looking at the TV?
I'm an old man. I'm pretty close. I'm not talking
No, wait. Wait, why do you think they use different, like a powdered drink instead?
It doesn't look the right shade of orange to me. I know that's silly.
Jesus
Christ.
Christ.
Look the right shade. Can you not spot if somebody's drinking like Sunny Delight? You can't see the difference between orange juice and Sunny Delight. Sunny Delight doesn't look like orange juice to me. It's like an orange drink.
It doesn't. But I'm asking, why do you think that they did the different? Went the other way?
Because it's cheaper. I think they went cheaper on almost everything. And they use it so often that I think it's just like, okay, hey, Herb, put a couple of scoops in the pitcher. I'll fill it with water. I just think it's one of those.
Wow.
It's like, they got to take something out. Put more orange juice in there. And I'll give you the Tang.
My mind's blown right now. I don't even know what to say. I'll keep an eye out. I'll use my young elven eyes to look at the orange juice in further episodes.
Wow, I'd love to see it. And then there's a couple of jokes about when he offers to play with dolls with Jennifer, to strip dolls down. It gets a little weird there. He's gonna, and then of course finally someone, I'm sure it's Dad because he's always the voice of reason. By the way, speaking of Dad, I'm going to digress for a moment. Do you watch Togetherness on HBO?
No, I heard about it a week or two ago when I did a reading that people compared what we were reading to Togetherness and that it was really good.
Well, Michael Gross is his father. All of a sudden shows up on last week's episode.
Oh. So what is it about? What is the show?
It's two couples. It's a married couple who are having problems in their relationship, and his best friend and her sister who have a flirtation, slight romance. They're seeing other people. So you have one couple that's like trying to get together and one couple that's trying to stay together. And it's really just a four-couple thing. The acting is so good in the show. But Mark Duplass found out his wife was having an affair, and he goes to his parents' home, but he has a really bad relationship with his dad. So they drive past his father's home, and who comes out of the house but Michael Gross watering the lawn. So it was like, oh my God, now I have to watch this. It's Michael Gross being a dad.
That's amazing. So how was he? Was he good?
He's terrific. He's always terrific. He's very funny. They haven't given him a lot to do yet, but I can see it's just starting to build now. So he'll be recurring on the show as his dad.
That's so great because, like, Michael Gross as an actor and as a father figure, as we've known him throughout this series, and, like, you know, the imprint that he's put upon the culture for his branding or whatever is so charming that it's amazing. I'm interested to see how that turns out.
Absolutely. Handles comedy as well as any actor on television. Always gives something. You know, when somebody can add something to comedy that's just not really there, that's so good. You know, that's what, when everybody talks about, you know, James Burrows, the director, the TV director, and they always go that Jimmy doesn't do as much as everybody thinks he does. But what he does do is he'll understand why a line isn't working or why it's not getting a bigger laugh. And he just knows what to do to give it a big laugh. So that's the only thing.
And I don't know.
Like, wow.
We might have talked about this before, but, like, that was actually one of the things that was a selling point for Michael J. Fox in either his audition or when they filmed the pilot episode of the show, is that when they were getting ready for his girlfriend to come over for dinner, remember the racist country club episode? That he was able to get 3 laughs on a 1-laugh line. And it was just that thing of, like, you know, a performer who's able to milk it or find different levels of humor. And that's when you know you have a really good comedic actor.
Absolutely. I tell people all the time that I think as a performer, I think my favorite laugh is when you get a laugh and then have another joke on top of that laugh and then have a third joke on top of that laugh. There's nothing more fun than that, to be able to try and work the audience and work the timing on how do you do that with a live audience. You got to obviously wait for the laugh to start to die down before you say your next line, but you can't wait too long or else you kill your next laugh. So I think it's a real technique that actors have, and Michael Gross and certainly Michael J. Fox both. He learned, I think, a lot of stuff working with Michael Gross.
Totally.
So some parent finally says, Dad finally says, for God's sakes, Alex, why don't you call Doug already and tell him you miss him? But it's too late because there's a knock at the door and it's Doug. He's there to see Alex. So
it's always funny whenever people come visit the Keatons from their back door. I always love that.
It's always a weird choice because if you look at it logistically, the back door and the front door seem to be flat to each other. They seem to be on the same side of the house.
Right.
They're saying because the kitchen, you exit the kitchen and you're right in the living room in front of the front door. So there's 2 doors near each other logistically. So it's sort of weird when someone decides, oh, I'm going to knock at the back door as opposed to knock at somebody's front door.
Right.
But Doug's at the back door, and Alex tells Doug in a serious moment that he thinks he's seeing too much of Eleanor. And Doug has to set him straight and tell him that he loves Eleanor. Alex chimes in and tells him to, hey, you got to keep your options open. And then he builds it one more time by saying, hey, we're moving in together. And Alex goes, this isn't a good idea. This is the big mistake. And then he says, well, we're not just moving in together. We're getting married. Yay. And you're the best man. And then
it's crazy. And we're going to discuss later after this break. We'll be right back. And we're back. All right. So that is insane because let's remember, they are both freshmen in college. They're both 18 years old, and he's getting married.
He's getting married. What's Professor Motorboat going to think of that, Doug?
Yeah. He can't take notes because his hands weighted down by that ring.
Mm-hmm.
But it's crazy. I mean, just like, regardless of Alex's feelings, the fact that that he's 18, we don't know how old Eleanor is, but that they're wanting to get married so soon, that's crazy.
It seems almost desperate, and it also seems as though that they're both sort of. I can't imagine two people doing that unless they were both socially awkward and clinging on to each other so much for support. Like there's no other support system. There's no parents or siblings or friends or anything. It's just such a strange decision to get married at the age of. Because that's what somebody said last night. Susanna looked at me and she goes, "How old are they?" And I said, 19. They're about 19 or 20.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you're giving them too much credit. I feel like they're 18 or 19. They're both.
They could be.
He's
I think I was trying to be. Yeah, I was really trying to give them some credit and go, oh, okay, then maybe they're 20, but they're 18 or 19 years old, and he still dresses like.
So I mean, it's just crazy because, like, you know, Alex's reasons for them not getting together are, you know, his jealousy of Doug's time commitment or whatever.
Right. But there was a lot of.
But he's there's a lot of what?
Real reasons not to get married, which he sort of kind of touches upon.
Right. And that's the thing. We never meet either of their families.
No. And they don't even really mention their families, which usually has a lot to do with people getting married. So it was just sort of a strange decision on their part.
Why do you say that about the family thing?
Well, I just thought that usually families have a lot to do with planning a wedding. Why are you getting married? Who's going to be there? It's because a lot of times weddings are held more as a party for the family than it is for the people actually getting married. That you sort of throw this big party for your family to come and watch you get married, so that you're doing it in front of other people. But in this case, it seemed like, wow, this is going to be a very small affair. Although, from the actual wedding scene that we get at the end of Act 2, it wasn't that small of an affair. They actually had a wedding. I don't know how they planned it so quick, but they had a wedding.
Yeah. You know what? We're getting a lot of weird sound stuff. Let's cut out and start again. Is that all right?
You want to start? Sure. Start this act again?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll disconnect and then invite me again.
Okay. Yeah. I'll call you right back.
Okay.